Hi, how's everybody doing? Yay, I did it! I mean, David helped me, but I did it. Alright, so here's the big deal that everybody is talking about it, and we're gonna go really, really slow, okay? Y'all know. You don't know what this is yet, but this, for some of you will know, some of you won't. This is Pluto, okay? This right here where I'm putting my mouse, it's Pluto. There are some things that you have to know. At 0 degrees, that's a very strong degree. Remember I told you guys, 0, 15, 22, 23, 25, 29, and 30. Those are very significant degrees. That means like it's potent, it's more activated, right? So 0 degrees Pluto is right down here, right? He's in Aquarius. He's going into Aquarius, right? Remember, he's retrograded. He went into Aquarius. He's coming back. Remember we talked about this last week? He's coming back to Capricorn, right? Because Aquarian didn't let him stay long. Aquarian just let him stay in the living room. Remember we talked about that? Aquarius only let Pluto stay in the living room, and Pluto's like, hey, I got 20 years with you. We'll figure it out. I'm going to go slow, right? Because you know Aquarius. He's quirky. He don't want to let everybody know what he's doing, right? So he's like, well, I have to do it because it's the good of humanity, and you know how Aquarius is, right? But then we have this aspect. So Aquarius is what we call a fixed sign, right? So his quality is fixed. He doesn't like to budge unless unless it's his choice. He doesn't like to budge. Taurus up here is also a fixed sign, which means he doesn't like to budge, right? Now, if you look, Pluto is at 0 degrees, and on the 16th, if you look here, the 16th of May is when we start this big transit that all the astrologers are talking about. This is when Jupiter, benefic, you guys, I'm trying to think of another word, a planet that is, they all support us, but we think of Jupiter as the great, like, he gifts. Jupiter likes to gift things. Jupiter gives us lots of presents. Jupiter gives us understanding. Jupiter gives us, Jupiter's more upbeat, where Pluto gives us a lot, but Pluto gives us a lot by taking stuff away. Pluto gifts us things, right? Does that make sense to everybody? I'm trying to go really, really slow. So Pluto is in Aquarius, and on the 16th, 0 degrees, very important degrees, Jupiter is going to move into, or what we call ingress. That means it's moving into a new sign, Taurus, who's also a fixed sign, right? Now, we've been dealing a lot with Taurus because we have to deal a lot with Taurus, and we're going to get Taurus to move. And remember, with all of us, we have every sign in our chart. We have every sign within us. Every sign, or this wheel, tells me that it's an area of your life. So this right here is the horizon. If you look here, horizon. Now, whatever's here is what we call your ascending, because it's going to be ascending. It was where you were born when the sun was coming up. But people forget about their descending, right? This is underground. This is the bottom part. This is the top part of the chart, right? So the top part of the chart is the outer world, the outer stuff, our career, other people's money, relationship with others, understanding the bigger world, the universe, source, God, spirit, blah, 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 religion, da, da, da. Your career here, internet, groups of people, da-da-da. This 12th house is the in-between. This is the connection between everything out of this world connected to this world. Does that make sense? The universe and us, the higher than that. Okay, so when you look at the chart, this is the outer stuff. So we've got this inner stuff, this stuff that we'll be thinking about, mulling over, figuring out. We got that going on with this Jupiter who wants to give us things in Taurus, right? Now here's where people get confused. This is what the chart looks like. This is where the stars and the planets are in the sky right now on, well, not right now, but on May 16th. What you guys usually look at is a birth chart. That is like we took a snapshot, a picture of where the stars and the asteroids and the where they were at, which would mean the houses, right? Where they were at. It's like we took a picture of that as soon as you were born. That's your birth chart. It's like a picture, and we take a picture of it because it's a tool for us to use to be able to give us clues about how we want our life to go, or why things happen to us this way, or why is it that I see it this way, or why is it that I have this habit, or why is it that, you know, I went to this career, or why is it that I have these types of friends, or why is it that I have this type of partner, or why is it that I have 5 marriages, or why am I single for the rest of my life? Like, it's all of that. It kind of tells you. So it's almost like a map for you. Okay? That's the difference between a birth chart and what I'm showing you now. What I'm showing you right now is the chart that it's going to look like where the stars and the planets are on May 16th. Does that all make sense? So, on May 16th, Pluto is going to be, excuse me, Pluto is at 0 degrees Aquarius, which it's been, right? Because Pluto's a very slow-moving planet. Jupiter, 0 degrees, going into Taurus, right? Now, remember, Pluto's coming back out of Aquarius, because he only went in for a minute, but Jupiter's going in to Taurus for a year. So from May 16th, 2023 to like May 18th, I think, or May 24th, 2024, Jupiter, the benefic planet, the one that wants to gift you everything, the one that wants to help you understand this better, the one that wants to help you expand and grow more and be more of what you want to be, that's going to be moving into that area of your life. Wherever Taurus is in your chart, that's the area that's going to be really amplified, right? But here's the thing. We've got that, this, and then we've got some other things going on that I'm going to show you charts of. So right now, I'm just going to show you kind of what's going to happen. You won't understand it yet, but I'm going to go over it with you guys, okay? So right now, so on May 16th, these two are going to be talking to each other. They're going to be forming what we call a square. You guys know a square is like one saying one thing, one saying another, but they're both trying to get you to the same place, right? That's a square. It's what we call a harder aspect. Okay? So on the 16th, these two start, it's almost like they're looking at each other at the table. And they're like, I know what I got to do, but I got to talk to Pluto. You know, Jupiter's like, God, I just want to give them blah, 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 but I got to talk to Pluto. And Pluto's like, here she goes again. Here goes Jupiter. Just trying to give everything away. Like, they don't have to work for it. Like, they don't. And Jupiter's like, if Pluto would just not be so, like, he doesn't have to have the tough love. He doesn't have to, like, you know, it doesn't always have to be that they have to be so deep. And can't they be a little lighter? And can't they be optimistic? That's Jupiter talking. And Pluto's like, they're not getting deep enough. They're not working on themselves. They're not looking at the red flags. They're not da-da-da-da-da. Does all that make sense to you guys? That's kind of what they're looking at each other at this point, right? And then they're going to move. So let me go to this other, before I do that, yeah, let me go to this other chart, okay? So that you guys can understand what I'm talking about. So with this chart, this aspect, so Taurus, remember Jupiter, right here. I think, can y'all see that mouse? Can y'all see my mouse now? I don't think you can. So, remember when I showed you guys Jupiter going into Taurus and Pluto going into Aquarius, right? You know what I'm thinking? When exactly did my mute go on? So did y'all even hear me talking about the other stuff? Okay. Alright, so here's the thing. Down where it says 5. So down where it says 5, and you see that's Pluto in Aquarius. It's at 0 degrees, right? Pluto is the transformer. Pluto is the mystery. Pluto is the intensity. Pluto is the unknown passions. Pluto is making you face your fears, right? Okay, you did hear the other stuff. Okay, so I put this here so you guys can see it. This is how I'm going to be teaching over there. I've already got all the charts over there. I'm really excited because it's going to be really, really easy. I know it looks confusing right now, but that's because I'm having to show everything. But over there, when I'm teaching you guys, we're going bare bones. We're going to start with just a empty wheel. We're going to start with the characteristics of the sign, the symbols of each thing, right? So
yeah, it's going to sound fun.
It is fun. It's like just doing it is a lot of fun. So this straight line, the big red straight line that I'm showing you guys, that's called a square. That's, I think y'all, I don't know if y'all heard that. This is, Jupiter is moving into Taurus. Pluto is in Aquarius, right? This is on the 16th. This is what I was saying before. Did y'all hear about the birth chart compared to the chart now? Right? Did y'all hear that part? Where your birth chart, let me know if you heard that part. So this line, y'all hear when I said Jupiter's looking at Pluto right now. Pluto's looking back at Jupiter. They're at the table. And they're like, I'm about to have to talk to this fool. Because Pluto's like, I'm about to have to talk to this fool because he's just too hyper and too happy and too, he just gives everything. He gives everything away. And Pluto's like, you have to take it away because they didn't see the red flag. They didn't do, did y'all get that part? They're not seeing the red flags. They're not paying attention to what really is. And I got to get them on their destiny. And Jupiter's like, why does it always have to be so dramatic? Why does it have to be so intense? Why can't we just have love? Why can't it be straight? Why can't it, you know, and they're like, they're not even talking to each other yet. They're just looking at each other, right? So that's what's formed a square, right? That's the hard aspect that we're talking about. Because when they start talking, because they are going to be talking from 16th through the 20th, even more than that, but really talking where they're like almost could be yelling at each other. They're saying the same thing, they just coming about it in a different way. And that reminded me about a TikTok that I wanted you to see. So this hard aspect, this is what we call a square, right? So the thing that it's asking you to do personally, right? And then society to do, and then the world to do is, what do you need to let go of that makes you feel safe, secure, stable, and happy, which in turn will make you at peace, right? With yourself, with the things around you, with the situations around you, with the people around you. That's Taurus. Taurus is like, Taurus wants safety, security, stability, happiness. Taurus will like stay somewhere even if the situation isn't right. If he's comfortable, if she's comfortable, they will stay in a situation because they're comfortable, they're secure, and they're safe. Happiness comes later, right? But because they're both talking, that's what we need to be asking ourselves. So in Aquarius, wherever that area of your chart is, and in Taurus, those two areas are being asked this question. What do you need? What do you need to let go of down here? Remember, below the horizon, is within us. Out above the horizon is the outer stuff. So Taurus being up there, and of course this moves around, right? But for right now, when they start talking, it's about what do you need to let go of? What do you need to transform? What no longer serves you? What's outdated and old? What is all of that? So that you can have a better understanding, so that you can have the gifts come in, right? This is just them talking. This happens on the 16th. Then we're going to move to the next one. So hopefully I can do this right. Okay. Alright, so if you look, this is on the 16th. So right when they're starting to talk, this is what I wanted to show you. Right when they're starting to talk, you see how everything's moving? Now that's the 19th. So the 16th through the 19th. Now, if you look, you've got Jupiter and you've got the North Node right next to it. So this has to do with your destiny, right? What y'all don't see coming is that we're going to have this fixed Grand Cross, right? So we've got Jupiter all of a sudden on the 19th. You're like, this is part of my destiny. Your understanding is getting a little bit bigger. You're still talking with this red right here. See this square? But now the North Node has entered the conversation, right? So they're still talking, they're still squaring, they're still trying to get you to the same place. So this may feel to you like, I want to be safe, I want to be secure, I'm tired of the way this has been, I know I need to let go of some stuff. But then you get to this fear of Pluto, like, oh my God, but if I let go of this, what do I do? If this happens, what will happen? That's never happened before. Or in the past, I've done it this way. I've always done it this way, but it's not working. Like, you're getting these sort of questions, right? This is what this aspect is. But your North Node, your destiny of what you came here to be more of, is like joining with Jupiter to say, it is time to let go of these things. Remember, this North Node, South Node. North Node, South Node. Pluto is the transformer, but so Scorpio is too. Y'all know that I think of Scorpio as the rising phoenix, right? Scorpio is very intense, and this is Scorpio down here. So you've got this two energies that are kind of the same, with these two energies really pulling at you. And then here comes a third. This Mars right here is at 29 degrees. So you're really being pulled opposition. This is what we call an opposition. So you're going to be pulled in 4 areas of your life. The Pluto, the South Node, the Mars, and then the Jupiter North Node. So right now, this is why y'all all feel like it's chaos. This is why you feel like I don't know what to do. I kind of see something, but I don't really see it, so I'm not going to move. I'm really confused. I got a lot of pressure. I'm feeling like I got to do something, but why isn't it coming about? Da-da-da-da-da. Like, I don't see it yet. I don't see it yet, so I'm not going to move because but that's Taurus. Taurus wants to see it. Taurus needs it to be tangible for him to move, right? Where these others don't necessarily have to, right? Like Leo doesn't. But Taurus, which is the most North Node, the bigger thing, the thing you're trying to get to, has come in with lucky Jupiter, but he has to contend with Pluto and Scorpio, right? Pluto, who's ready to like throw it all away, but then you have your South Node that's like, we've done this for several lifetimes. It's time to let some of this shit go. Right? And then you have Mars, who's the god of war, that will just come right now in this scenario. Reminds me of Gen X, because Gen X will blow every fucking thing up and we don't give a fuck, and we will start over again. Let's just blow it up, start over. Like, that's Mars. Mars is that way. Does that make sense to everybody? So on the 20th, right here, guess what? Jupiter is 0 degrees. Mars is 0 degrees. Pluto is 0 degrees. And the north node and the south node are 3 degrees, but you guys know I like my orbs between 0 and 3 degrees to make it an actual aspect. So even though they're off a little bit, they're still there, and they're still talking, right? They're talking closely. So do you understand the sort of chaos that's going on and why it's going on? Because you got all these energies in 4 areas of your life that are about to like it's just pressure welling. It's just like, oh my God, I got to do something. I know I have to do something. I'm tired of this way. I don't want to do this anymore. I am done. I want to make myself stable. I want to make myself, all the things that Taurus is. Make myself feel comfortable. I don't have to live this kind of life. I have done a lot of work. I blah, 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 the things that you tell yourself. But you have a habit. You have your south node. You have a habit. And Pluto has been trying to tell you guys, all of us, he's been giving you red flags, right? And then you got to contend with Mars over here now, right? So give me just a second. This is where I'm going to change this. Okay. So this is what we call, some people will call where it's just part of the triangle, which is Pluto over here, Jupiter up here, and Mars over here. By the 20th is what we'll call a T-square, because Mars is opposing Pluto, but it's squaring, Mars is squaring Jupiter and the north node, and Pluto is squaring Jupiter and the north node. That's what we call a T-square. But I'm throwing in a fixed grand cross. That's the big square. All of these are involved. But do you see why I made these lines bigger than the bottom lines? Because the bottom lines, they're not exact, but it still forms, to me, a fixed grand cross, right? So this is a strong transit because we have 0 degrees. 0 degrees, right? So we have 1, 2, 3 aspects of 0 degrees. This is a strong transit. You want to look at your chart. This is how you're going to do it. You want to look at your chart and you want to see if you have any planets at 0 degrees in Aquarius, in Leo, Scorpio, and Taurus. And that will tell you the areas of your life that are going to be activated, right? And this is about letting go of old, outdated ideas and belief systems. It's also, on a bigger scale, transformations of religions, institutions, transformations of authorities in religious, right? But these are some of the questions that you need to be asking yourself, or these are some of the things that you can see or that will come up for you, is like things that are inspiring and intense. This is why I wrote all this down, so you guys can see it. Ambition and desire, right? Ambition and desire from up here, from your Taurus, your north node, your ambitions, your desires from Pluto, right? Your drive, but materialistic. So when these two get together, when they start talking, these energies come about. These are what we call archetypes. So inspiring and intense, ambition, desire, drive, materialistic, or greed. So those are the little bit of negative aspects, right? But maybe some of y'all need to have more greed, be more materialistic. Just don't go overboard, because Jupiter likes to intensify and make everything big, right? So you can sort of get out of whack with that. Sort of that I'll do what it takes to get what I want kind of thing. Some of y'all need to do that. Others of y'all need to back off from that, right? But that's where you need to like look at your chart, or that's where you need to consult an astrologer like me or somebody else, whoever. It also can bring up obsessions with anything that makes you feel safe, anything that makes you feel secure, anything that makes you feel comfortable. This theme could come up, where it's almost like an obsession, where Like I said before, I'll do whatever it takes, whatever I need to do to get what I want. Because I'm tired. And here's the thing. I heard this from a client this week, and I'm going to use it, and maybe she's watching, I don't know. But she said, you know, I'm not tired, I'm weary. And that was like the best description I've heard in a while. Because I don't think we're tired, I think we're weary. I think we're just done with a lot of this stuff. And that's why this aspect, these energies are always here to help us. That North Node is like, it's time to move into the luxury, into the stable, into the secure, into the comforts of life. It's time to let go of your old habits. I'm trying to think of how to say this. I know of people that have a long-lasting dis-ease because in their other lives they had a long-lasting injury and they brought that belief system into this lifetime and then we let it go. Like, that's kind of where we're at. Like, it's time to let some of these go, but we have to face our fears because we're so used to doing it one way, and that's always made us feel better. Or even if it didn't turn out right, we still feel comfortable with it because we know exactly what's going to happen. Does that make sense to everybody? So, but the good thing is that this aspect, this whole thing, you're going to be this, let me say this, this aspect of Jupiter and the North Node squaring Pluto can bring really big success. It can bring really big success, right? And when you're done, you'll have these feelings of rebirth and completion, like, oh my God, it's finally over, I did it, right? It's almost like a relief, right? There's some redemption as well. And there's like this cleansing and this healing that goes on. This purifying that goes on, right? Like that's what you'll feel when this is done. And this is going to be going on from, it starts on the 16th and it ends. It doesn't, you guys know that they don't just end. We're going to be moving and kind of slowing into a different energy. But it's almost like on the 25th or 26th when the sun moves into Gemini, we'll kind of get a spark of like, you'll get the relief. You'll be like, this is exactly what I'm going to do, right? So you're going to be feeling all this pressure. You're going to be feeling this indecisiveness. You're going to be feeling like you have been, and it's just getting tighter and tighter and tighter. Does that make sense to everybody? So I'm going to show you an example. So does anybody have any questions? And so like these are work handouts and stuff that I'm giving my people, or not my people, but the people that have the subscription. These are the handouts and the stuff that I'm giving them so that you can look back on it, right? This is kind of the perks that you get for coming, for having me teach you, for coming to my classes, for doing those things, right? For supporting me. So I just want you guys to know that this is what's been going on. This is what's going to be going on. And this is until probably the 25th, 26th when the sun, well, 22nd is when the sun moves into Gemini. You'll kind of feel like that relief. Like I know exactly what I'm doing, but there's going to be this harsh aspect first. You got Mars is the ego. Mars wants to do it my way. I've always done it my way. It works out my way, which is not the truth because it doesn't always work out his way. But he's the ego, right? And Pluto's more about let's look at everything. Let's make sure we include everything. Like Pluto's more about, I think you're only seeing it in a narrow-minded way, your way, when you kind of need to open up the perspective. So you have this opposition going on, Mars opposing Pluto, where it's like this struggle, power struggle, power struggle, power struggle, right? So I'm going to show you guys. I won't go over a lot of this because I'm doing this in my class. But this will kind of give you a better idea of this grand trine. Okay, do you see these aspects here? This is about up here. So we've got up here, we've got Pluto. We have Taurus. And This is about, again, belief, luck. Do you see this opposition where Mars and Pluto are opposing? This is power struggle. Mars wants to do it his way. Pluto says, yeah, how's that worked for you so far? It hasn't, right? And so Pluto's trying to like take, right? But then you have the South Node. And it's Scorpio. So not only is it like you've done this many lifetimes, but it's also because it's in Scorpio, it has to play by Scorpio's rules, which will make you face your fears, which will also have attachment, obsession, right? These are things that you don't want to let go of, that you know you probably should let go of because they don't serve you anymore, right? This is where this Scorpio, this South Node is Scorpio, attachment. But how does that apply to you? It can make you feel like there's loss, like there's grief. I've always done it this way. This is how I do it. This is the way that I think. This is the way that I know it. This is the, like, and you're learning a different way and you're not doing it. You're going to learn not to do it that way because you're going to let it go. Most of you are going to let it go. And if not, we have the transformer over here who's going to help you, who's going to put you back on your path, who's going to, like, it's not like you ever got off your path, you guys know that, but you kind of veered a little left or a little right, and it's going to help you. So, you'll be feeling stuck, you'll be feeling pressure, confusion, resistance, stubborn. I feel pressured, but I don't know what to do. The 0 degrees, remember, 0 degrees is, to me, is 0 point energy, which means it's just a lot of chaotic, a lot of energy, but it hasn't been formed yet because you haven't put your consciousness in it, because you haven't directed it, because you haven't formed it, right? And that's why you're feeling like, I gotta do something, I have this pressure, but I don't know what to do. I don't know which way to go yet. I haven't seen the light. I haven't been shown. Remember, Taurus, he's tactile, he wants to feel it. I haven't seen where I can do such and such and such. I haven't seen that if I let go of such and such that I'm gonna get right? So when this happens, though, it's really important with your North Node of showing people that this is your how, when, what, why, right? Your North Node. Like, this is why I do it, because this is my new belief, because this is my new understanding. But right here, at this time when this Grand Fixed Cross comes in, we've got Mercury. Remember, it was retrograde, it's about to go direct, and now it's coming closer, and it's going to be talking. So not only do you have the higher mind, which is Jupiter, you're going to have the lower mind, which is Mercury. Communication. How am I going to communicate this to the world? How do I want my life to be? What do I want to show for it? What do I want to feel like? What do I want, right? But here's the thing, because Pluto is the slowest moving planet, it will be the most influential. Like, it's only Pluto over here, and he's got to go up against these three up here. And he's got to go up against Mars. But he's slow moving, which means he will have the most power. He will be most influential. And I've told y'all, do not mess with Pluto. He will take it away if you don't do it. So, my suggestion here is that if you see the red flags, it's time to deal with them. Because if you look here, and you've got this pulling you, and you have this pulling you, and you have the lower pulling you, you have the right pulling you, you have the left pulling you, you have from above pulling you, right? They're all trying to, like, different areas of your life, trying to say this, trying to do that, let's do it this way, this is activated, oh my god, I gotta deal with this, oh, what do I do with that, like, that's where you kind of feel all this stuff going. The best thing to do is to sit with it. Because that's what Pluto's asking. Sit with it, refill it, rethink it. You have a higher mind here that's going to help you understand how to do this, what to do. But because it's your choice, you need to sit in it and then agree, this is how I want life. This is what I want in my life. Not, oh, I just want a partner in my life, or I just want $1 million, or I just want to be happy. What does that mean? Like, you haven't even said the details. You haven't even formed any of it. You're just like, I just want to be happy. Well, what does that mean? I don't know. I just want to be happy. That's kind of what they're saying. Like, we kind of need to know what you want, we kind of have it all here for you. You just got to make decisions. You got to make choices. You got to take some action, right? Some people are like, I just want $1 million. Okay. What do you want $1 million for? What are you going to do with the $1 million? How do you see yourself getting the $1 million? You know, like, what do you want that for? I don't know, because everybody has it to make me rich and blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, what does that mean for you? Like, that's all they're asking. That's all these energies are asking. You said you wanted a specific thing, particular things that you want in your life, the North Node. They're just asking you to, so Pluto really is asking you to sit in this middle. Sit in the middle. Let all the energies come. It's going to feel confusing. It's going to feel chaotic. It's going to make you face your fears. It's not going to feel pretty. But I'm telling you, you have help from above. Isn't it funny how that's above? Jupiter's above. The spiritual connection, the spiritual understanding, the bigger mind, as well as the lower mind, right? To let go of this old, to let go of what you brought here that no longer serves you. Does all that make sense to you guys?
Yes.
And with that, that ends the, I'm going to go deeper into all of that in my class, but that ends that part of it.